Okay, and we're recording. So this is a Mobility Wednesday, and we are going to start warming up, but we're also going to keep an eye. We're going to keep an eye to our heart today. Okay, so see what I did? I grabbed a pillow. My dogs are having a fit right now. So that's the way it is with Zoom at your home. You can't tell the dogs to shut up, but maybe I'll put them in the back room. So see what I'm doing? I'm not just doing a walk right now. See, I could just be walking around, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from this motion, see this? And I'm going to start giving it a toss. I'm going to go like this and give it a toss. Then I'm going to go like this and give it a toss. All the while, I'm stepping an exaggerated step, okay? So I drop my shoulders, I tighten in my tummy. When I step forward, I want to caution you, we are doing a warm-up into our Mobility Wednesdays, and I'm going to start trying to key you up and show you just some simple moves that will get your heart up into a target zone. So that term you don't hear a lot anymore, but in the original research done with the Aerobics Research Center in Dallas, of which I went and trained there a couple of weeks when I lived in Texas, target rate was talked about a lot. Because everybody was wanting to know, okay, how much do you actually have to do to benefit from heart pumping activity? Do you have to like run a race? Do you have to like put in hours and hours to get the health benefits from getting your heart rate up? So I hope you're following this. And so my normal Zoom participants who are on a list that I will send out and let you know when our next scheduled, classes are going to be coming up. I try to do 2 to 3 months, looking ahead and saying, hey, you guys, I'm going to be here doing these workouts. And if you want to be notified to be on Zoom, all I need is your email. And then people always go to, well, how much? How much? Look, I'm doing a workout that I need to do for my joints, for my sanity. I'm asking you, I'm inviting you to come in with me. If you benefit from this and you really like coming on and you want to contribute to all the expenses of me keeping this going, well, fine, good. And I hear from you guys and it's very appreciated, but I want this to be a benefit. That's my highest goal. And I want it to be a minimal expense for people. So you use it, you can donate toward it, however you want. So that's my little speech with that. And I'm doing it right now on this recording because there's a lot of people that are starting to tap into my YouTube channel that they're always asking this. So I'm just telling you this while we're going through this warm up. So you see how this exaggerated step and drop and toss of the pillow is starting to get your breath coming more? Do you see that? I hope you're feeling that. So those of us with multiple joints replaced, this kind of a steady state activity, a little bit more effort than just doing this. So see, I can ambulate all over. We've done it. We can do square walking. We can do figure 8 walking. We can do all that. However, I'm going to move from this now to stepping wide. I'm going to come up like this, and I'm going to go this way and switch. See, it's a big motion. and I'm curling my heel. So as I'm going from this move, I'm keeping my shoulders down. I'm keeping my hands under my armpit. I'm not going up over it. So if you have shoulder issues, do not do this motion and go way up over your head. That's not what you want to do right now. My elbow's bent, but I've got a pillow that I'm rocking back and forth with. I'm pulling my heel into my hip, pulling my heel into my hip, pulling my heel into my hip as I do this. And now I'm going to go right back to that original move. Are you ready? So I'm going to turn. I'm going to step, give it a little toss, bring it back. Step, toss, bring it back. Step, toss, bring it back. And I'm doing all this gently with bare feet because, in fact, I have a carpeted area. So it's not hard on my feet. So depending on what you have, you might be able to do this barefooted, or you have to have shoes on, which is perfectly fine. Take a big breath, drop your shoulders. Every time you step out here, you got to keep your tummy super tight, okay? Nicole, could you put the dogs in their cage? They're continuing to bark. Take a big breath and step and breath and step and breath. Now go right back to what we went into, which is what? Wide stance. I'm crossing. I'm bringing it back. I'm crossing, bringing it back, crossing, bringing it back, crossing, bringing it back. See, I'm just rotating the arms across. And this time now, I want to pull that heel in like I showed you before. So I'm rocking back and forth. So I could add a third move here, but I'm not going to yet, okay? So don't worry, Nancy, don't worry. I won't add a third one yet. She is just giving me fits, I know. Quit calling me out on this. Nancy, it's because you're just easy to mess with. Okay, heels, 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 heels. See how I'm just rocking and rolling with my little pillow here? I'm working my hands, I'm gripping, I'm pulling my heel into my butt. I'm moving through this motion. Now I'll add a third. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to step, pull, and come back in. I'm going to step, pull, come back in. Step, pull. See, you're going to take your pillow and you're just going to bang it right there on your knee. That's all you want to do. So I'm going to come here, step, 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 boom. Step, 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 boom. Now, could I put this into some kind of a little dance? Yes, but you know what? Sometimes we just keep things simple, right? So I use 3 basic moves, bringing the biggest muscles in my body through my legs into this kind of a warm-up, mobility, which is also mobilizing our heart muscle. So that's why I'm going to call this Mobility Wednesday, the heart of the matter. So what I'm telling you is, if I took your pulse right now, if I had you stop and take your pulse, you would notice that in fact you're breathing deeper and your pulse is higher, and it doesn't have to be that much higher. And if you maintain this kind of a little motion using those 3 moves, and I'm going to do one more and then I'm going to go right back to square one. Okay, so right now I'm going to step, toss, back. I'm going to step, toss, back. Caution, when you're stepping repeatedly, wider, many times you will step, and if you're not supporting with your tummy, you will step and you will arch in a way that I don't want you to right now, okay? So pull in tight, step toss. I'm just going to review this briefly now because I'm watching my clock and we've been at this for over 2 minutes. We've been at this for almost like 7 minutes, okay? So when you have done 3 ranges of motion, like I just put you through, so just a couple more here to get this cemented into your brain. Okay. Yeah, it's pronounced cement. You know, some people would say cement, but it's actually cement. Okay. Just want you guys to know that, especially my teachers, which I have a lot of teachers on. Okay, so from there, I go wide and I go across and I just bring my heel up and I just keep swinging back and forth. I go across and back and it's wider and I'm pulling that heel into my hips the whole time that I do this, but I keep my stomach super tight. I'm working my hands gently with a little pillow that I can hang on to. Pull, 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 and I just do that. I can do it from 30 to 100 times, okay? Then I go from that. After I've done that one, I'm going to go into our third one, okay, which is step, knee, tap with the pillow. Step, knee, tap. So I'm doing a ton of our basic mobility moves. I'm just doing it steady state. And if you don't remember or take away anything from this little segment that I'm doing to get your heart mobilized along with our muscles, remember the word steady state. Aerobic activity is just a steady work. And so I tried to keep you guys at a steady work pace for about 10 minutes, which is about what we've done. Okay, we came on, we started doing a few little movements, and I got right into this little steady state movement. Believe it or not, this work that we just did, and we've completed now at least 10 to 12 minutes of steady state work. I used 3 basic moves, right? The step out, toss, catch. The step wide, heel to the hip, across with the arms. And then I crossed over with the knee tap. 3 basic moves. But I was talking you through this. You were working with me. And you did at least 10, for those of you who come on, to 12 minutes of this motion. Now we're going to morph into the second part of our class. I've already warmed you up doing this kind of a motion. Remember? I put my pillow down. Okay, I'm on my bare feet. I want to drop. I want to pull in my tummy, drop my chin. Okay? And I'm going to step out and just do my soldier arms, I call it. So here's where you got to remember. Some of you, I have some people on that have had mild strokes, that have had all kinds of joint issues, that have had lots of back issues, osteoporosis issues. And what I'm doing through every one of my classes is to combat a lot of those issues in a very sane progression of movements. And when I do this move, you see my hand is not way up for a reason. I want to keep it down because I want to keep my shoulders down, because I want to keep a neutral spine. And if I throw my hand way up here, that tends to screw my positioning all around, and that's not where I want to go right now, okay? So when you do this move, it's a very controlled motion. I'm barefooted. I don't want any hard pounding, type stuff, but I want great benefit. That's what I'm trying to help you guys move through these kind of challenges. And through my whole life, I've studied movement and I've had a lot of injuries. So, I just put it into a progressive movement related class that gives really good controlled loading. And so that's my goal. So you see, I'm just coming right to here and coming back, and I'm coming right to here and I'm coming back. I have gone through taking you from a gentle heart rate to a little higher heart rate, and then we just now came down just a bit. So you had your heart pumping, and if I had taken it, my guess is you would be right at your target rate, okay? Now, I'll go into how to figure out your target rate. It's not very hard, okay? Take a big, deep breath. Yes? Yes, take a big, deep breath. And basically, if you want to do a real easy version, you take your age times about 2, give or take, and actually, and cut it down. There's a whole formula to do. I'm just trying to simplify it. For instance, at my age, my target rate's going to be somewhere 130, 40, something like that, okay? And I'll go over how to find that out at some point. However, what you have to know is that if you're just breathing a little deeper, you're probably getting up into your target rate consistently. That's what we want. Okay, here we go. Movement Wednesdays. We've already got our heart moving. You did it for a good 10 to 12, some of you more minutes. I'm putting my hands together in my hinge. I'm going to see how my hinge is working. Okay, so here's this. I'm right here, like a goal post, right? So as I put my elbows together, I'm going to step back gently into my heel. I'm going to hang on there and then come back and then come open. So drop your shoulders again, drop your chin. You're standing right here on just your floor. I'm not using the pillow right now. But when I go like this, right here like this, what I would do for many of you is you're doing this. And I would just gently push your elbows, help you push your elbows in so that the elbows are shooting right out from my armpit, okay, or my shoulder. See that? So that right there, see, I wouldn't even do this particular move until I had warmed you up generally, which you're warmed up now. You even started breathing heavier during that whole little warm-up time that I tried to help you get up into your target rate zone, okay? But when you crank these down and you're holding this, now I'm going to bring them together again. I'm going to take the other leg back. I'm going to roll into the heel, okay? Take a big breath, then come step back up. So I'm not setting on it. I'm moving through some very tight, possibly tight joints, a tight heel, a tight plantar fascia, and I'm doing it dynamically, meaning I'm not just sitting on the stretch. I hit the stretch, then I move back in. Take a big deep breath. Again, drop your shoulders, drop your chin. You got to keep your teeth together. I'll turn this way so you see what I'm doing. I'm going to step back from the ball of the foot into the heel, okay? So you see that I'm in neutral. I'm not way out here. So push yourself back so that you're pushing into the heel. Then you open, you come back up, okay? Take a breath, drop your shoulders, step way back, and drop into the heel and bring it back around, okay? right there. Take a breath, take a breath, take a breath, and then come back. Big breath. Then you're going to bring them in, and you're going to take your thumbs to your forehead. Okay, drop your shoulders one more time. Okay, yeah, I know. I'm going to keep telling you this. I caught you, didn't I? Drop your shoulders. My thumbs are at my forehead. My knees are soft. They're not really bent. They're just soft. And then I'm going to go over my head with my hands. See that? With my elbows bent. So this move is going to really push some of you. So be very gentle on yourself. Okie dokie. Take a breath. Take a break if you need to. Drop your shoulders again. Tight tummy. Go from the thumbs being at the forehead, your elbows together, and try to reach your elbows up over your head. Okay? Take a breath. Tight tummy. Okay? Keep your knees soft. Bring it back down. Bring it down, bring it down. Shake out, shake out, shake out. I know some of you are like, oh my gosh, with my shoulders. That's a hard move. But instead of trying to raise your hands up, which is where most of the programs will tell you to do, some of you are like so discouraged because you're thinking, I can't do that. My shoulder, my shoulder. So I'm just coaxing you after you've warmed them up to go just meet here. Then I'm coaxing you to put your thumbs at the forehead and then just reach out over your head while you keep your elbows together and bring those bring that movement, that motion, the range just a little bit further up without extending your hands. I hope this is making sense to some of you with shoulder issues, okay? Okay, here's our chair. So we're going to come from that and we're going to go into some modified core work, okay? So I know some of you love core work, right? So I am going to end up putting my elbows down. So I'm going to invite you to either use your pillow or your disc right there on your chair. This is a perfect workout station now for my upper body, okay? For my core, huge. Now, I am going to make it down to the floor today. However, you can do a lot of the stuff that we're going to be doing on the floor right from here, okay? So, first of all, I'm going to put the heels of my hands right here. And I'm going to take a breath, and I'm going to put one foot in. I'm going to take one foot way back. So we've already done this motion to a lesser degree when we were working with our shoulders. Really? Really? Remember that? So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to really press in there. I'm going to keep my heel down and back. I'm going to keep my elbows soft. Okay? I'm going to hang out here for just a second. Now, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and start to straighten my front leg. As I keep my back leg straight, my elbows are turned down. And I'm going to start letting my upper body drop from my hip down as far as I can. And see, my front toe is pulling up. Take a breath, take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. And then I'm going to rock and roll. I'm just going to hit it. Then I'm going to come back. Okay? Bring that leg up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put on some black socks so that you can see my feet against this very neutral floor. So get ready. You're going to be into your other foot right now. I hope this helps. I think it might. Okay? So you're right into your move. So we did this. We did this. Okay? We pulled our body down until we felt that stretch. See, my toe down here is pulling up. And then we rotated. So we bring the back foot up, still on the heels of our hands. We're going to step back. We're going to drop from the toe to the heel. And I'm going to hang out here for just a second. I'm going to keep my elbows bent. and drop my elbows down just a little bit. Then I'm going to rotate the front foot to the heel. I'm going to bring my body right down. So I want to keep the back foot pretty straight. The back leg straight, the front leg straight, and pull the toe up. Take a breath, take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. Come up out of that. Bend that knee in, step forward. Yay. So now we're fixing to go down for the core, the high plank, I'm going to call it. Before you do that, I want you to put your hands right here, okay? Right here. So this is when you release the rear end, you release your tummy, you drop your shoulders, put your hands right back here, step shoulder width, so you keep your balance, release, push the hip bones forward, okay? So you're pushing those forward, keeping your knees soft, pushing it forward, keeping the knees soft, pushing it forward, breath, forward, breath, hold, 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 hold. Big deep breath. Now soften your knees, tighten your tummy, and come out of that move, okay? Then I'm going to reach my hands just out over the chair, and I'm going to drop my head way down, okay? So this has to do with a lot of shoulder mobility. Lots of ranges here that you're trying to help yourself with. If that's very difficult for you, just bring your hands in, don't straighten them out, and just come down here with your elbows bent, and you just put your ears or your head between your hands, and they're bent. So I showed you a very good modification in that big reach out, okay? Now, humor me here. We did that great big move, right? We were bringing our hands in like this just a while ago, right? Elbows in, okay? So I'd like for you to, before we go into our plank and to our core moves just now, I want you to just put your elbows together, put your thumbs at your forehead, soften your knees, and then just kind of walk your little thumbs back and see if you are being able to move just a tiny bit more without the squeeze or starting to feel, oh, and I can't move too much past that. Try to see how far you can move where your elbows are up and you can have them right up here, okay? So if you even do this much, that's a great thing. Then bring them out, bring your hands all the way out, and pull your shoulder blades together in back. So shoulders are down, pull the backs of your hands together, and you hold it there until you feel this across here, this pectoral. Drop your shoulders, put the backs of your hands as if they're going to touch each other. They're not going to, but your shoulder blades are pulling together. Then you rotate around and down. Yay. Okay, ready? Chair can be your best friend with a pad on it for some really good modifications for planks. Now, I don't know if Judy's on this morning, but she likes to get into her planks. Do one here, Jude. And then if you want to go ahead and get down to the floor and do a regular plank from the floor, great, have at it. But I want everybody to know you can do a plank against a wall. So if you have shoulder impairment, if you have a touchy, delicate back, whatever, pretend this is the wall, okay? And just put those elbows against the wall and step back, okay? And then push back with your fingertips and then come down. So now I'm going to do it here. So I'm going to step out with both feet because I think we can. If you need to modify further because of whatever reason, see, this is modified. My knees are bent, but I am putting a lot of pressure through my shoulders by just being on my elbows like this. Now, if you want to try to do one leg back and one leg in, that will work just fine as a modification. What won't work is for you to let your shoulders come up around your ears and for you to flex your back. So push your shoulders down, okay? Push your shoulders down, keep tight, and then sneak the other one back just for a couple of seconds, okay? And then get in a true plank. So if you're seeing how I'm doing this, see, if I let myself drag, that's not really a plank. If I let my butt go up, that's not really a plank. I want to be like a plank of wood from my shoulders to my heels. So you just pull your belly button in. You take a big deep breath and you just drop your shoulders. And then for a break, push your butt back. Step in. Take a big deep breath. Your elbow is always in line with your shoulder, okay? Yes, you can come off of it and stretch it a little bit, but when you go into your plank from your chair, your elbow is in line with your shoulder. Drop your shoulders. Now step back with the other foot, okay? See how that's feeling? Now tighten in your tummy because you're going to take that foot back, okay? Keep your tummy tightened. So I'm right here. Take a big deep breath. Keep my chin tucked. Try your very, very, very best not to drop your neck or to lift it up. You tuck that chin in, and your ear should be able to draw a line from your earlobe down through your shoulder, down through your hip, down through your knee, down through your ankle. Take a big deep breath. Big deep breath. Hang out with me. Just do it. Just hang out here just for a little bit. Take a breath. Okay, hang on, hang on. Don't quit yet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step in and step in. Push back into the heels and just rotate up and drop your shoulders down, okay? Remember that little arm swing that we like to do with our split stance? This is a good time to do it, okay? You can have a split stance or you can just stand with both feet, but notice my hands. I'm not going up, way up over my shoulder. I'm keeping it low, okay? So then I'm going to pull my elbows back. I'm going to bring them back in. Because what I'm trying to show you today in our movement, our Mobility Wednesdays, is number one, we mobilize the heart muscle. That does a couple of things. Gets at a wall. And it's not as much pressure because you're changed your position. Okay, so just so Kathy knows, we just did a rest just now. See? Okay, now we're going to go right back down. And this time we're not going to go to our elbows. This time we're going to do what's called a high plank. And again, those of you that have delicate shoulders, you can do this very nicely at a wall. Okay, so pretend this was a wall. And I'm going to go down and put my hands outstretched right here. You could do it right here. Okay, you step back gently. You keep your plank, and then you push in and come back. See? So I gave you several modifications already. You get to choose which ones you want to do. So I'm going to have my hands right here, my wrist under my shoulder. I'm going to step back a little, see? Or I can step back a lot. But what I don't do is take my shoulders away from my wrists, okay? So now I'm in a plank. Anytime I need to rest, I'll just step in and push back. But the idea is to get to where you can hang out here and give your back, your shoulders, your stomach, your legs some load in a movement pattern that's going to push your core, okay? So I'm going to go from here, and I'm going to push up and come back. Then I'm going to go right back, and then I'm going to drop my heels, and I'm going to bend my elbows slightly and then push back. Bend my elbows slightly and then push back. So this would be a really good time to drop your shoulders and to tighten in your belly button. Breath. Whew. Here we go. Breath. Whew. Here we go. Breath. See, I'm just barely bending the elbow. Breath. And come back. Step in. Push back. And come up. Thumbs out. See that? Thumbs out. Turn my toe to the side. So I have one toe straight. I have one toe turned to the side. But my palms are what? They're up. Yeah. And they're not like this. I want to pull them back. So the hand and elbow comes right in to my waist or out. Okay? Here's this toe heading out right there. Okay? Just like that. Take a big deep breath. Right out there, just like that. All right? Then you're bringing it back in. Okay? Put your hands straight down. Palms toward your body. Step in. Okay? Maintain your neutral posture. I'm going to bring this knee up. And I'm going to step out as far as as far as you feel comfortable. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable in here. So what does that mean? That means just a little bit of a step, okay, for most of us. Now, if you want to go on out there, like huge amount, well, God bless you, do it. But some of us don't feel comfortable doing that. You can still get the great benefit of this kind of motion by just stepping out a little, okay? So here I am. See this? Take a big deep breath. Shoulders are down. And I'm going to just take my hands out, palms up, okay? And I'm going to hang out here for just a second. My knee here is bent, but my feet have to maintain all kinds of different pressures, different positions, just to keep me upright, okay? So I'm right here, drop my shoulders, come back in. Now I'm going to go from here to a normal stance. I don't want to jar my back. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do a little stutter step. See that? See that? You just pull in, pull in, pull in. Perfect. Great. Okay? Okay, now we're going to do something a little challenging in our Mobility Wednesday because we're barefooted. I'm going to bring my chair. Always bring your chair, or be doing this by a table or a wall, whichever is close for you to do, because you just want to put your hand, not grab, not grip, but you just want to have another point of contact, okay? You see, I keep my hand open so I'm not gripping, because this thing will move, all right? So drop your shoulders, yeah? So I'm going to go tap over to across my body here. I'm going to bring it to the center. Then I'm going to open my hip and go this way with that toe tap. See that? Then I come here. Then I go across the body. Now, when I cross the body, it puts a lot of stress here. You can lessen that if you just soften the knee, okay? Drop your shoulders. You're upright. You're going to bring that knee up and over. You're going to bring it up and go this way. So you want to try to get that leg going out. Now, this is my hip replaced. This is my knee replaced. So I understand all those weird feelings when you're doing different movement patterns. So see, I'm going right here. I'm toe tapping, and then I'm going to heel tap. The heel tap is much harder. Press down if you need some point of contact. Drop your shoulders, then bring it back, tap, and then out. So see, I want to just bring this out as far as it will let me. My knee is soft, and then I come back in. Okay, we're not done with this. Okay, so you just put a lot of pressure in this hip, and you did a whole range of hip mobility moves. Okay, now this is already loaded and it's like zinging. Now we're going to really make it load, so be careful. Only do as much as you feel you can. Hold on here, tighten in, drop your shoulders, soften your knee, and you know how we tapped right here? Remember that? Well, we're going to tap here, we're going to bring it up. When you bring it up, you must soften your knee, okay? That's holding you, this right here. And just very quickly, not like a jerk or a kick, but a moving forward with my foot just until you feel like, wow, I feel that here. Okay, then you bring it in, then you bring it down. Okay, this hip should be just zinging like big time. Okay, take a big breath. Now we're going to rotate to the other leg. So I think I pretty much can do it with the chair here, but if you need to move the chair, however you feel. But now we're going to be on this leg, okay? So the minute I shift my weight into this leg, I know what my little cheater, my little sluggy moves have a tendency to do. And I've gone over this before, but I'll go over it again. Because the minute I know I'm going to use this, I over lean. Okay, that doesn't do anything to help strengthen the weak muscles that need to be strengthened because I have this hip replaced. Okay, so I'm going to avoid that. Here's my chair if I need it. Hand is open. Okay, drop your shoulders, soften your knee, shift. Okay, so I'm shifting in there. All right, and here I go. You're going to tap. And you're going to come up, okay? And you're just going to go out just a little bit until you feel this. Then bring it in, bring it down, okay? Try not to lean. Try to stay upright in a good neutral spine, a tiny hip hinge, a tiny knee bend, okay? Don't lean. That's a cheater move, okay? And I have my little slug over here staring at me. So here I go. I'm going to go tap. This is level. The hips are level. As I bring this leg up, I make sure that knee is soft and even a little bent. But I don't lean into this, okay? Use your hand here if you need to, gently. Then I'm going to sneak this toe out. See that? I'm going to sneak it out there until I feel this. Just going, ah, right, and then bring it back in, and then bring it down. Now quickly shift to the other side, do all the parameters I told you about, do your body checks. I'm going to bring this one up, see, tap, bring it up. Now as I kick it out there, I don't mean kick, I mean push it out. I keep very tight, I keep breathing. And I want this to go out there until I feel this starting to scream at me. See, there it's screaming, here it's not. There it's screaming, here it's not. Breath. Right here. Yeah, keep your knees soft. Breath. Here we go. And bring it back in. Shift. Quickly. Here we go. Drop your shoulders. Bring it to the toe tap. Put your hand down here. Bring it up. The higher it comes, the more the knee needs to bend. If that doesn't happen, you generally lean either too much one side or the other. So here I'm going to go. Whoa! Breath. Breath. Push. Breath. Push. Breath. Push. Just two more. Here we go. push, one more. Take it out there until you feel this starting to scream at you, and then you bring it in, okay? Breath. All right. Now, we're going to take, and we're going to go off of our little plank again. Now we're going to work through the back part and the side musculature that's opposing what we just worked on here, okay? So here we go. You guys can't wait to do this, right? Oh, it's such a beautiful day. That's what you got to focus on. This beautiful day. But my goodness, when I focus on this beautiful day and I look out the window, all I'm thinking is, oh, the bushes need trimming. The grass needs cutting. Oh my goodness. I digress. Okay, Kathy, you just rested. Okay, come right down again. I've already shown you how to do this, right? You can do this against the wall, by the way. You can go right against the wall, okay, with your hands, everything. Or the chair. I'm choosing the chair. Or get on the floor. If you want the hardest one, get on the floor. Do everything we're going to do on the floor, okay? I'm going to do it here in just a minute. I'm just showing you. Okay, so I'm right here. I'm going to go into my plank. I'm choosing a high plank. You may choose the low plank, which is right here, which is perfectly fine. I'm choosing the high plank, and I can do it against the wall. But now I'm going to squeeze my butt, and I'm going to lift one leg, not very high. Just lift it, then come back down. Here's a trainer's tip. Do not lock your knee of the supporting leg. Keep it soft. Right there, keep that knee soft. Lift, breath, bring it down. Switch, lift, breath, bring it down. Shift, keep the knee soft, lift, bring it down. Breath, shoulders down, or go to your elbows. Breath, shift, bring it up. Breath, shift, bring it up. Breath, shift, and then step in. Okay? Now you could have done all that on the floor. You could still be on the floor if you choose. I'm showing you up here for modification. Now we've innervated the hamstring. Now we're going to take this knee. We're going to bend our knee a little bit, and we're going to bring this hip up and bring it down and go way up here, like my foot's going to the ceiling. Then I'm going to come back down to neutral. I'm going to open it gently, hold stance, bring her back down, and I'm going to go way up with my foot, way up there. Keep this knee here. The supporting knee needs to be soft. And then I kind of come down. And I'm going to go back to the rotation to the side. Then I'm going to bring it down. Then I'm going to go push way up there. Keep level as possible through your shoulders. Breath, breath, breath. Then you go extend, pull, extend, pull, extend, pull. Bring her back in. And get ready to switch. But before you do, push back, grab the back of your chair, put your head and shoulders through your arms. Take a big breath, then come back. I'm choosing a high plank. You may choose a low plank, whichever you like, or the floor, or the wall. Okay, you ready? I'm going to go high plank. So I'm going to go back with my leg, all right, back with my other leg. So I'm going to do both of them. You could have one in. It would make it much easier. That would be just fine. But if you want to go both, you tighten in your butt, drop your shoulders, and you're going to bring the other heel up. Trainer's tip, Do not lock your knee. Keep it a little bit soft, okay? Because that will really help you through your hip, especially with people with multiple hips replaced. See, tap, lift it, tap, lift it, tap, lift it, tap, lift it, squeeze your butt, tap, and lift it. Take a big breath, step in. Now we're going to go to the side. We're going to lift that leg out to the side. This supporting leg is soft. Okay, tight tummy, drop your shoulders. Breath comes to the side. You're going to come back in. It's going to come to the side and come back around. Okay, and go way up. Then I'm going to come back. I'm going to go way up to the side, bring it in, and back up like you're trying to plug it into the ceiling. Bring it back in, lift. Here we go. Press. Breath. Side. Here we go. Breath. Bring her way up there. Plug that foot into the ceiling. You can be doing this whole thing from the floor. Breath. And come back. And breath. Now hold it up there. Now bring it out. Bring it in. Bring it out. Bring it in. Breath. Bring it in. Breath. Bring it in and bring her down. Stretch back from the chair. Right there. Okie dokie. Take a big deep breath. Hang out down there. Hang out down there. Hang out down there. And come back up. Roll, 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 roll. Yay. So I'm right here. And we started with doing 3 different motions to get our heart pumping and to get to that target rate, okay? And if you take about, it's something like about half of your age and add that on to what your age is, about half that, that's about your target rate. Now there's a specific formula, but I'm just kind of making it easier to kind of guesstimate what's my target range. All it means is you just need to be breathing a little deeper, okay? We just don't want you to overwork or underwork. And if you can do what we see, how I'm coming to the side and back, see how I'm putting that heel down and coming back. So I'm using some of the same in an opposite way movement patterns that I did warming you up. So I'm going to come back, tight tummy, drop your shoulders. I'm just going to reach over here and just come down and come into my heel. Those of you with plantar fasciitis, after you've done what we just did today, and you gently step, press into the heel, see, in this kind of a motion, it's going to move that Achilles, it's going to move that plantar fascia, the ankle, in all kinds of really cool ways, but it's not super loaded, okay, because I'm here in this kind of a movement pattern. Put that heel down, bend the knee, keep your heel down. You're going to feel that stretch come right up through the calf. Yes. Okay, take a breath. One last time. Step way over. Okay, now bend the back knee. Keep your heel down. Okay? And you're going to feel those stretches coming up into that leg. So, see these? This is a great point, flex, rotation, okay? Now I could sit down, or I'm just going to show you. Point, flex, rotation. You can do that in the bed before you get out of bed in the morning, and it will help your first steps be much less painful. See, a point, flex, and then rotations. Yeah, so I'm just choosing to balance while I'm doing that. Okay, you don't have to, but you can, okay? So we're right coming into the end of class, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off the record. So I hope people will benefit.